Ryan Howell.
And you're listening to
The Dresch Code.
the show where we talk about topics that may or may not pass or fail the Dresch code. And I'm very excited for this episode. It's our second one. The first one was a success. And thank you all for being on the show. At this point, I'd like to introduce everyone that's going to be in the round table, even though it's not a table, it's a couch chair thing. Yeah, not good with words.
Nice
But, first off, Jacob Lemmy, musician extraordinaire from Angie Hosh, Lemons and his new solo project. Jake, how are you, Jake?
I am pretty good here. How are you?
Doing swell. Thanks for being on the show.
Excellent, excellent. Just,
Stand-
this mic's in front of your face, so I can't really see you much, but...
It's good.
Oh, okay, there you are.
There you go. Stand-up comedian, good friend of mine, extraordinaire, Luke Johnson. Everyone has the extraordinary title today, because you're all extraordinary people.
I'm glad you noticed.
Yeah. How are you, Luke?
I'm all right.
All right, excellent.
I'm
Excellent.
extraordinary.
Yeah, you're extraordinary. There we go. Filmmaker extraordinaire, musician extraordinaire, Austin Kaus. Nice for being here.
No problem.
How
That's
are you?
Two extraordinaires.
Two extraordinaire.
You're one. I'm great, thanks.
Musician extraordinaire, comedian extraordinaire. You had to be their host extraordinaire.
3.
Brian De La Garza, how are you, good sir? You had 3.
For 4.
Oh, for 4.
Thanks.
Jason Steady and the Soft Ponies drummer extraordinaire.
Yes.
That's 5. Was that
I'll
5?
take all of them.
All right.
My reign was short, but wonderful.
I mean, he's got a PhD in extraordinaire.
It's true.
Right, there you go.
It's an honorary one, but...
Right. Stand-up comedian extraordinaire, Brenda Graybo, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. All right, so should we get into the topics?
Yeah.
Oh, that has to go pass fail.
All right, so the show is done.
All right, I'm out.
Thanks for coming, Jake. You're an Exeter extraordinaire.
So how the
last
show
place.
works, as I've said before, is I will pull a topic out of the jar, not bucket. I keep saying bucket. We may call it jucket, but that does sound derogatory.
I would have accepted aquarium.
Aquarium.
Terrarium.
Terrarium. Yeah, full of Hy-Vee price declines.
Hey, Perry.
So, and we'll decide if we want to talk about it. It passes the Dresch code, and if we don't want to talk about it, it fails the Dresch code. And we'll save that topic for another episode until the last episode of this show, where that one topic will not get picked. And that's the last one. So I'm babbling. Let's get this started. You guys ready?
Oh,
Robert, you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right. First topic, Ryan. Do you want to do the honors?
I would. Thank you.
All right.
Dig around in here for a good one. I always get the novels. Modern pop music is painfully repetitive, as in they have one good verse and chorus and sing each 3 times. Unfortunately, studies show that repetitive songs are more likely to be remembered and therefore more popular. Profitable. Arrow. Are they dumbing down our music on purpose?
Pass or fail?
I'm
down to talk about
I'm
this.
down to talk
I
about
can
this.
pass.
This is a pass?
Sure.
It's a pass.
I do think it's pretty repetitive. It depends on what the artist is, but some songs I'm just like, my God, this is dumbed down.
Is it breaking that much from the pop music formula, though?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, like, we're being dumbed down. I think it's always been dumb.
Yeah.
It just sounds dumber with autotune.
Well, see,
Right.
my big example of this, I don't want to call anyone out, but with Imagine Dragons, right? So Radioactive came on the scene, it was this big hit for them, and there felt like there was a little bit of substance. And now this whole Thunder and Lightning song is like, what is this? Why do they keep saying the same 3 words over and over again? Why is there a small child in the background?
There's thunder.
For
Thunder.
movie trailers. It's like
Lightning and thunder.
it's all movie trailer music.
Thunder!
The thunder.
I bet there is money to be made, though, just, like, having your song being put in a movie trailer to just end up, like, making music
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
could be in.
It's probably one of the only ways to make money in music now.
Also, stuttering in pop music is a popular trend as well, with I don't know why, Aerosmith, Jaded, that kind of thing, and the thunder.
I feel like this is a
That's
good place
kinda-
where we can
Who's-
mention
who
Williams
did
and
that?
Reed
Yeah.
for the first time on the podcast. They had a bit about speech impediment rock.
Did they?
Why don't you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm thinking of the Who right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
They had a-
when
they had a
the Disturbed
reference.
song that ooh wah ah ah, he was trying to say I'm really sad, but he couldn't get it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Bit of reference David Bowie's Changes, Benny and the Jets.
baby, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Sometimes you just have to stretch it out a bit. And if you don't want to hold the note at the end, you stutter the hell out of the start of it.
I'm just imagining the three Bachman Turner Overdrive guys sitting at a table, just bearded and like tired after a long day at the shop, and just like
They probably just stared at an overdrive pedal on the table for hours.
Yeah, there's only two guys and then an overdrive.
Yeah.
yeah,
All
Bachman
right, I'm gonna
Turner.
go to bed. All right, see ya.
They're just like, we're gonna do 83 Bs. We're gonna do every third one. So,
Bachman, you got anything?
but, no, where the hell were you on that? This is how I'm picturing it.
Well, my input on this, on like the whole repetitiveness in pop music is just like, I'm gonna repeat somebody, like, I think you said that, it's just like, it's just, we haven't been dumbed down to it. I mean, it's been like an ongoing thing. It's just been kind of in the industry for probably even close to like a century maybe, or, and, you know, since the 50s, like, it's like, you're gonna be hearing like so many stuff that's on the radio that you're just gonna go like, oh my god, there's unoriginal content. Like, but it's just like I think that's how like
It'll always be kind
like
of.
that's how it'll always be. Like right now we're living in like what the popular sound is at the time.
We won't
I mean, like
figure out.
this is gonna be like the same thing. Like, you know, if people have put up with it in the '60s about like, oh, garage rock, great. Ooh, my baby, oh, great.
Yeah,
or
we
like
won't-
even '70s is just like, prog rock, great.
No, disco.
Disco, great.
People won't figure out what stands the test of time until enough time has passed.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the point of it.
For every Hall and Oates,
Pretty
there's
much
a
so.
Power Man 5000.
Yes.
I think that's-
just pulled them up on Spotify the other day. Because I was thinking about, I think they actually played in Omaha recently, but the lead singer is Rob Zombie's brother.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
nobody cares, but...
Everyone else in the band is like, oh,
Up top of
it's
the Power Man
You
5000.
know, reference,
the
but
worlds collide, man.
that's like the only song.
Yeah.
I pulled that up in Static X both, and, you know. But even like songs like that, even like Nirvana was like technically like poppy music, right? Like they were just doing pop sensibility, but it was like hard or
More aggressive, like
You
aggressive.
could still sing along to this stuff, you know.
Right.
Like,
And I mean, you can't blame like a lot of the artists that like, or even the artists that like usher in like that saturation that kind of goes on through time. It's just like they just wanted to do what they love, and then, you know, everybody else just kind of found a way to exploit that and just kind of have people like think that their music sucks.
Yeah, there are still some great pop musicians out there, but you're gonna have some
Absolutely.
crap too. So it's just that's always how it's gonna.
And they might both be repeating verse, chorus, verse. I can't sit here and be a huge punk fan and be like, verse, chorus, bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah, punk rock. It's so original.
I like the
G,
Descendants'
F,
longest
G, F,
song,
G, F,
250.
G, F.
I
True, dude.
think that there is like there's like a culture of like hating pop music, like just being like, oh yeah, all pop music is bad. But there's always like a few songs where you're just like, fuck yeah, this song is so
Right.
good. Like
Yeah.
we were listening to Tennessee Whiskey. It's like a
Yeah.
country
Country
song
song.
that's like kind of dumb, and it's just
I-
like it's so good.
I will go on to make a statement about our modern pop culture right now, and I'm going to say that Carly Rae Jepsen is
The
great-
queen?
the queen, the queen,
She's so good.
the absolute
Bless.
queen
Yep.
of our time right now. for pop
I like
music.
Cardi B a lot right now.
Yeah.
Like that's one artist that when she comes on, I'm like, I'm like compelled. Like,
Janelle Monáe is great
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I think it's also going to go without saying, if we're going to talk about like modern pop music, or just like even like contemporary music in general, like I think it'd be a shame to kind of go without mentioning Kendrick Lamar, because like he's actually started a cultural shift into actually like providing like an actual, like a really strong message that hasn't been really out in a while.
Thought-provoking rap music. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Childish Gambino's another one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Donald Glover's a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
That'd also be
Yeah.
another one to mention there.
Still think he should go back to stand-up at some point. But I'm just saying. But
I
like,
think he will.
Yeah.
I think he will. I'll give
He
it
just
time.
has so
He'll
many
get bored.
talents. He'll
Yeah.
just do whatever he wants when he feels like it.
Maybe he'll finally get that SNL gig. 'Cause that hour and a half audition a couple weeks ago was pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. Not gonna talk about it again. I'm just really pissed. Next topic, shall we?
Oh, that's all right.
He's still winded from reading the first one.
What's more difficult to do live, music or comedy? Pass or fail.
How many people have experience with that in the room?
Myself and Ryan, for sure.
And yeah, so
I mean, I've done karaoke, but
I've made jokes between songs, and I'm probably a better guy at making. Oh, I'll start that one again. I'm probably better at making jokes than I'm a singer, but I'll fail that one.
I don't know. I'm the opposite of that. Like I've tried to like make like stage banner or like even like make any funny like comments and interviews, and I always just kind of end up like just going.
Have you tried
And it's like
battling drunkenly? Because it really
yeah,
pays off.
no, even
well.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt the flow. Can someone close the blinds? We've got people online complaining.
Ah! Ah!
Does this
I thought you were gonna say people outside complaining.
can we not do that
too,
again?
but,
Okay.
you know.
Does this pass or fail?
I'd say it's fast.
Pass.
Pass.
I'm
All
interested
right.
in talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Anyways, where I was gonna go on with this, I'd end up just like looking more like an idiot during an interview than like I would actually playing live on music. Just it's a lot easier because like you have like all like the material down through like specific patterns and melodic patterns, like music stuff.
Mhm.
It's pretty much like the formula. And like comedy, you have to like actually like think about like actual like everyday life situations, like what types of people that are kind of going about. What do say like what do they drink? What is a specific thing that you would actually find funny that you can talk about this?
Yeah.
And then now you have to present that to a bunch of mostly intoxicated people in a bar.
For me, doing stand-up has made me really critique my band's banter between songs. 'Cause it's like, I'm the one talking, even though I don't do any backup vocals. I'm just there between songs because no one else wants to speak.
You're mic'd for banter.
Yeah. Yeah. We've done that at
Yeah,
shows. And
I
everyone's
think
like, why does Zach have a mic? He doesn't even sing. I'm like, hey, Sioux Falls. Next song.
Yeah, I feel like you had the best experience out of both of those fields there too, because you're an actual professional comedian, and you also like do the Disarmed as well.
He doesn't know me, so.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I do both as well, but I think that there's a grading curve difference between a comedian having to be funny and a musician having to be funny, because
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
giving the musician a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
They're way funny, like even if you're criticizing him, it's not funny, but the audience is like, okay, that was funny.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, but
It's
it
like-
was.
You try.
We know you're not
Yeah.
a comedian, so.
I think you have a great backup. I'm saying this having not done stand-up. Like, if you're a musician, you can say some banter, and if it flunks, unless it's on like a NoFX level, but if it flunks at a normal level, you can still be like, wow, that joke didn't work at all. 2, 3, 4, and go back into your song, and you've got 4 minutes, 2 if it's a pop song, of leeway to be like, all right, they'll forget about what I said because they're actually just here to see music. So, whereas comedians can't be like, boy, these jokes aren't landing at all. Well, I've got some acoustic songs about my parents' divorce I'm gonna break out real quick. Like, they don't have that to lean back on. They're like, fuck, I gotta talk for more time. Shit.
Oh, this guy with the acoustic guitar made a joke that actually was pretty sad. Now he's just gonna make me sadder.
I think like if I'm gonna fail on stage, I'd rather fail as like a member of a band, because it's like, oh, we're all bad. But when you're like a comedian, it's like, oh, I'm bad.
Right.
I'm a
We
bad
suck.
person.
Yeah,
But
that's
we suck together.
Camaraderie there.
That's not at all true. You throw the worst one under the bus. Shit, he never tunes. I don't know.
yeah,
They
yeah,
call
that's
it the
awesome.
Ringo effect.
He's not as bad as everyone says.
Everybody's hard on Ringo.
He pushed the button though. When he specifically was told to not to push the button. If you watched Yellow Submarine, all right.
Ringo just likes to have
Reference.
fun. Should we do the next topic?
Please be short. Oh, thank God. What bands would you love to see reunite?
Pass or fail?
Pass.
Pass. I'll do this one.
Pass.
I like this one.
Okay.
Mr. Bungle.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. There's no band I would rather see reunite than Mr. Bungle. I cannot imagine how insane those shows are. You hear about how scary Dwarves shows are? I have a feeling like Mr. Bungle returning would just... I don't
Fugazi would
know.
be
I
cool.
wanted to say blow your mind, but then I wanted to make some joke about shit flying out of a hairdryer, because Mike Patton used to put poo in his hairdryer at the hotel. So the next person, when they turn it on, it started a complex. I check the hairdryer at every hotel I'm in. It's a problem.
That's a hilarious prank.
But I think Mr. Bungle would be amazing. Those 3 albums they put out were.
Dude, Fugazi, I thought they were putting out a new record or something.
They keep saying like they've reunite and perform for themselves,
Oh.
but they don't do shows anywhere. They just we meet and have dinner, exchange ideas, but we're not gonna release them. Like
The most DIY band in existence.
yeah, it's like I can't
Do it
imagine-
yourself for yourself.
Right, because when they announced Riot Fest lineup was coming soon, I kind of thought they would be on it, but it's like also looking back at their history, would they take that money? Probably not.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they used to do $5 shows at the bare max and nothing less than.
Riot Fest can make a lot of money if you can't charge more than $8 a ticket.
After this year's Riot Fest, do you know that Jerry Lee Lewis is actually finally going to
Yeah.
like come out of retirement and play there? I was like, that
still
surprised
plays.
me actually.
Yeah, he's like 84.
Ah, yeah, exactly. And like he's playing like a product with like some with some pretty loud bands too.
Yeah.
This is like
Like Meshuggah or something?
great balls of fire. Then you go.
His
Thank
ball-
you, everybody.
His balls are on fire because it's too hot up there for him.
Oh.
I tried.
Oh.
I mean, I'll try to help you. They probably do hang low, and their stage lights swing wrong. You got some sizzle.
See, now you're just embarrassing
I think
yourself.
most
I wouldn't
bands
go
I'd
that
wanna
far at
see
all.
Reunite are half dead anyway, so it wouldn't really work. So I'd have to go with Dire Straits.
There you go.
I would say Jawbreaker, but like that already happened.
And
So
it was
I mean,
great.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. And like my freshman me, I was like, that's already satified. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really can't think of a whole lot of bands that I can say that I want reuniting, but
I don't see the Smiths reuniting anytime soon.
I could
Also, I hate Morrissey as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Would you
I
even
can-
buy
I can-
Smith's tickets at this point?
I can be happy to I can be happy to live without that in my head.
They just shared a private moment.
Yeah, there's something going on over
one of
there.
the questions involves Morrissey, and I think we saw it in the book.
Like it's literally
Like
facing up, and as he
subconscious.
looks at that, I look at that, and the question is, why is Morrissey such a douche?
Everybody already knows.
So we can fail that one
Yeah.
if that one
Yeah.
comes up. So.
Evan knows that one is miserable now.
But I'm the guy that embarrassed himself. All right, Pun Master Jay.
How soon is now to change the next topic?
Did you think of a band?
No.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the original Blink 182 as a
Oh, yeah.
joke.
Oh, okay, that
That's okay. The only thing I had was Mouse Rat, so
Rat Mouse just wouldn't do it.
yeah, no.
You gotta have the full lineup.
You gotta have full lineup.
Maybe like, this feels lame, but I really like that one Postal Service record a lot.
Yeah.
And it,
Oh, that.
They
I should've
reunited
said
for like a couple dates.
it'd be cool if they actually made another record, but I
Yeah,
bet
it
it
would be.
wouldn't be as
Yeah.
good. I just
Yeah, I feel like
kinda
Ben's in a different place now, and so it's kind of like, yeah, it wouldn't be the same.
I feel like the Owl City guy was like, all right, they're never gonna do anything, so it's my job now. Fireflies.
And he has shat the bed the last couple albums.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
his first couple albums. Like, I still jam Ocean Eyes every once in a while.
Yep, that has
Yeah.
never left my car.
No. Well, like, he wrote a country synth pop song, and I heard it. I never want to hear it again. He,
As good as it sounds.
the singer of Adam from Owl City, take Ben Gibbard trying to do a southern twinge with his voice. He tried, and I'm like, oh, no.
Never.
He did like a "All My Friends."
Oh.
That's the name of the song.
They're all gone now because I made this song.
Can we auto tune this further? Like, and it was rough.
At least I have a Fireflies. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, when I saw him, I actually saw Owl City live at USD in Vermilion, and he closed with Fireflies. Big shock. And he comes out in the encore and goes, "You guys sure you want to hear this? That's why we paid the friggin' admission fee, all right?" Like,
the one song we know.
It's worse than that Closing Time concert I went to.
oh, so it's
Semisonic, Semisonic, and everybody's just like throwing their beers at the stage, practically like, play fucking Closing Time.
See, I feel bad for that band because their songs, other than Closing Time, I still love Closing Time, but they have really great stuff that's not Closing Time.
Yep.
Like, if you just listen to their couple of their albums. But
And that's a really easy, cogent, thoughtful argument to make to a bunch of drunk people in here in South Dakota at a state fair.
it's like, hey, man, they still got some really good deep side B-sides. Stick around. He'd be like,
You know,
Smashes like a
I
jack
got
on
the
your
jerk
head.
yelling, play your Trip Shakespeare stuff!
I came here for country synth pop, and I ain't leaving till I hear me some country synth pop.
I'm pretty sure that dude has like co-written every Adele album or something. So
Yeah.
he's doing fine. Like,
Right.
go out, he doesn't need to
Probably.
play those shows and deal with people's shit. Like,
Speaking of that, I would love to see Marvelous 3 reunite because I love Butch Walker as a producer, but his old band Marvelous 3 was something else. Like, their 2 albums or 2 or 3 albums they had were like pop rock perfection in my opinion. So I miss that, but I don't think he's going to do that band anytime soon because he has so much success.
what was like the one song that I would know by them?
Freak of the Week.
Yeah, okay,
No,
yeah.
Yeah.
Freak on the leash.
Yeah, I wish Korn would reunite.
With Butch Walker producing it.
Everyone wishes that.
Yeah.
Basically, all they need is like that douchey drummer at this point.
Is he the one that went
Then they're all
to
reunited.
the church land?
No, that's Head.
That's Head.
And
Yeah.
then he came back
Thought it was
because
a
he needed
monkey.
money.
Yeah.
So he left Korn. He's like, no choking your chicken. It's against God. And then he's like, but the wallet's a little thin, so back to Korn I go? I'd rather listen to country synth pop.
CSP?
Yeah, you know me.
As a kid who exposed himself to new metal, in defiance,
I remember that Korn song. It was disturbing.
Phrasing.
We just
remember reading about that in the paper.
podcast to NC-17.
right? Oh yeah, that's right. But no, as a kid who kind of like wanted to like introduce himself to like bands like new metal in the new metal genre at middle school, I could say that like Korn was probably like one of my most least enjoyable ones.
Yeah.
So,
I liked Blind. I liked that song.
Yeah.
I don't know.
that was alright. That was
The
alright.
first album had some fun things on
That
it.
symbol, the symbol
Yeah.
for the best part.
It's easy to do, you know. When I was playing on a drum, I was like, oh, okay.
Do you remember that track on the second one that's just... That's my half-assed Korn impression. Do you remember that track? I came home one time in high school and I was not sober. And someone had left that on my answering machine, but I didn't know it was a Korn song. So I was like, somebody is brilliant or having a seizure, or is brilliant having a seizure. I gave my friend so much credit for leaving a brilliant message.
I think that I actually studied that self-titled album. I mean, granted, like I say, that Korn's like one of the least like favorite
clearly
new metal
love
bands.
them.
I clearly love them, I guess. But no, I love. But no, like that song is Ball Tongue actually.
Ball
Because
tongue.
he had
Yeah.
balls on his tongue when he recorded them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Explains the
That's all.
part,
That's how I
but-
can think of it.
It's like for me, it's Sgt. Pepper, then Follow the Leader by Korn. But that being said, they're one of my least favorite. I'm teasing.
I get it.
I think I saw
Though,
Korn.
however, I will say Issues is right up there, right next to Pet Sounds. Masterwork.
What an applause!
Okay.
Nick, do we all cover what band we want to see?
I think so.
All right. Owl City in its original form. All right. Country Synth Pop. All right. Next topic. Did you do the
Yeehaw.
last
That
one?
was, yeah.
That was yours. Okay.
Yeehaw.
Reunite.
All right. Who is the greatest living rock star, and why is it Abbott?
Wow, that's not loaded at all.
What's an Abbott?
It's like a goth musician, I think.
Okay.
I was thinking like Black Sabbath and ABBA put together, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta know more about ABBA.
Tell me more.
Abbott, huh?
Doug, our bassist, loves Abbott. I've never really listened to Abbott.
Well, Doug's not on the podcast, so I'm saying fail.
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 Fail Abbott.
Fail.
Yeah.
Sorry, Doug.
All right.
Okay.
Go home, Doug.
No more Doug questions.
Sensual rejection.
Another band I want to see.
That's gonna be the next Korn album.
New
Central
question.
Rejection.
Speaking of new Korn albums,
Oh.
Crest, Colgate, or dentures?
Well, I've brushed my teeth with dentures, and it's real scrapey.
Pass, fail?
Fail.
Fail.
Fail that one.
We're a bunch of musicians and comedians. We don't brush our teeth.
All right. Popular bands that you don't like or don't understand why they're popular. I feel like we kind of touched on this, though. We could touch on
Well,
it.
one thing, you know when there's a band that's like super talented, but you just don't care? Like,
Guns N' Roses.
Tool is like the ultimate band where I'm like, I respect your, playing, you're amazing, but I don't care at all. all. I don't ever want to listen to Tool.
I'll take a pass on this one because I want to go into deeper on that one.
I think as a woman who never willingly, in your words, exposed myself,
Thank you.
I think I've met more like every guy I talk to is just like, yeah, I went through a new metal phase. But like, there's always like, but Tool is great. Like, it's all bad except Tool is what I've heard.
So the opposite. You love Tool.
Yeah.
I don't care about
No,
Tool.
I know.
I would love to continue on about like I agree. Oh, here, I'll let you finish because I was going to agree with you there.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I would say that I think a lot of people share my feeling about Tool with Rush. A lot of people recognize.
I would
the
give an
quality.
amen to that.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
they are a
get it. I like
talented
Rush.
band, and if I hear them on the radio, I'm like, this is again reminding me that this is not my thing at all. And I played Dungeons and Dragons growing up. You remember that Nerf Herder song where he talks? I was listening to Rush and fluffing my hair back. I remember listening to that, going, why is the character in this song listening to Rush Limbaugh? Like, that's really out of character from everything. And it took me years to figure out they were talking about Rush the band. So I've rolled Initiative more times than I can admit, but man, Rush they just don't do it for me.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd enjoy Rush a lot more if they didn't have lyrics. Especially in any of their songs where they get a bit objectivist.
So is the only Rush song you like YYZ?
Yeah.
No, it's the trees.
Oh,
It's
the
one of more
Trees, right.
objective songs.
That is the specific song I'm talking about when I say I wish they didn't have lyrics.
That was unrest in the forest. I know all those lyrics because of Rock Band 2, actually.
Same.
Rush is one of those bands that if you tell people you don't like Rush, some of them look at you like you've just committed sacrilege.
Right.
You don't like Rush?
See, I
Did
love
I stutter? It's a
fans are
one-syllable
like that,
band.
Yeah.
I love Rush. I've seen Rush.
Two fans are like that, too, yeah.
No.
But I've seen Rush too, and was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
I mean, they're silly, and I like that about it. I don't think. I mean, Neil Peart takes himself pretty seriously and writes all those goofy lyrics, but like, Geddy Lee's up there and he's just like, having a good time.
Yeah.
I think it was Geddy Lee who appeared on a Bob and Doug McKenzie album. So
There you go. Yeah. And then, I don't know why I watched this, but Geddy Lee inducted Bare Naked Ladies into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
Holy shit, that's some interesting TV to watch.
Why wake such a lot to me?
Why
wake is kind of soft? I don't know.
Yeah!
And then I watched the Bare Naked Ladies reunite with Stephen Page, and it was the whitest thing I've watched in a long time.
That I believe.
That and also the most Canadian thing.
If I had $1 million, we wouldn't have to walk to the store. All right.
Can I pose this question because it's kind of on point? Does everybody here like Radiohead?
No,
It's all right.
I like the early Radiohead.
that's a dead mouse tip.
they got a couple songs that I like, but yeah.
I'm the only one in this room that actually significantly loves Radiohead. And
I really
can-
like Radiohead.
I can accept that.
But I
used to love them, but when I was going to USD in the Fine Arts building, there was a display that was like this. Like for 3 months, they had an out thing, and it was just this like bunch of like chicken wire and shit hanging off.
the
it.
face?
Uh,
the chicken
different-
wire face?
different
Okay,
than the
there are.
that, but
No, they had other
part-
chicken wire sculptures.
Yeah,
It was the chicken wire
part
period.
of it was that there was like a CD player or whatever in it, and it was playing on loop. What's the one where they go on and on about Bush? The Radiohead album.
Hail to the Thief?
Yeah.
Hail to the Thief. It's playing one of the singles from Hail to the Thief over and over and over.
Oh, 2
And if you
plus
have a
2
class
equals 5.
anywhere- Yeah, 2
Yeah.
plus 2 plus 5, and just fucking forever. So it just like that's like ruined Radiohead for me because it's like every day.
See, I will tell this story because, again, like you talk to Rush people and they're like, no way. So I went to Coachella in 2004 to see the Pixies and saw the Pixies, and it was great. And then Radiohead came on, and I was very far away. And I was like, well, Radiohead's here, and I really like Radiohead. OK Computer and I have had some wonderful, special nights together.
You exposed yourself to it.
Several ways.
This is going to be a recurring theme for this for tonight's episode because I'm gonna be happy about that.
So I was like, well, okay. So I could watch Radiohead here from like 2 football fields away, or Mindless Self-Indulgence is starting in like 20 minutes, and I can go over there. So I skipped Radiohead to go see Mindless Self-Indulgence, which I've never regretted, but I've told people that, and it has almost caused them to tip over with anger. like you did what for the what now?
I bet you had way more fun.
I had a blast. Yeah, I had so much more fun. I was in the front row.
Like a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. He was
Great.
walking around kissing people. When you have to be like, I don't know if I want Jimmy Urine to kiss me or not. That's a much more interesting experience to be like, I'm closer to the steak sandwich stand than I actually am Tom York.
Yeah.
I would rather watch 30 Seconds to Mars than Radiohead, honestly. Come at me, internet.
Open the windows back up.
Okay, I'm
Well,
being
internet's
attacked
gonna be
now.
out there.
Yeah.
son of a bitch. I love festivals, but I hate bookings where it's like you have to decide between one. Because at Riot Fest last year, I had to decide between At the Drive-In, Wu-Tang Clan, and Streetlight Manifesto. It's like, oh,
You could stand in the middle and just hear all three at the same time.
that'd be the weirdest.
Just do a lap.
There you go.
I want Cedric on stage with the Wu-Tang Clan with RZA and
And
I don't-
Blake
I don't know the
Schwarzenbach is
Streetlight
just playing
guys'
guitar
names.
right next to him.
and horns, just ska, hip hop, post hardcore. That'd be like,
Post ska.
Love it. I'm down.
yeah.
I went to see Cursive, Murder City Devils, and At the Drive-In right when Relationship of Command came out.
In Omaha?
In Omaha.
I was at that
You were
show.
at that show.
It was amazing.
So my friends that I was with, I wasn't driving at the time, or I didn't have a car. I was like 14, and I was watching At the Drive-In. They were the headliner. 3 songs in, the friends that brought me, they didn't care about At the Drive-In. They were like, "We're leaving," and I had to go home with them. So that's like one of my like least favorite concert experiences. Even though Cursive and Murder City Devils were amazing, I wish like seeing At the Drive-In in their prime. Like I'm sure they're fine now, but
Jim Ward's not there anymore,
Yeah.
so it's like,
Oh man, I'm
Cursive
pretty
played first.
disheartening about that.
it's still probably a good
yeah, I'm
show.
not friends with them
I
anymore.
decided to go.
Yeah.
I decided,
They made their bed.
I decided to go to At the Drive-In, and they still put on a great show because right after them, Queens of the Stone Age was up. I'm like, I gotta savor
Yeah.
both of these. So, and this was a month before he kicked that photographer in the face. Couple months,
or-
Josh. Yeah.
Going back to that topic, I myself, I mean, I don't think it's not so much about like me actually not enjoying the artist mainly because of the art, because like that's, you know, if I actually, you know, don't care to like listen to a band, then I won't listen to them, and like that's pretty much like. And in some cases, I mean, I'll go further into it. Like it's, you know, it's like the same situation with me, like Tool and Rush. It's just like I'll listen to a couple songs on them, and like if they're on the radio, great, I'll listen to it. But like, I mean, if like someone's gonna like encourage me to listen to a full album, I could really not care less.
Does anyone else not care for Pink Floyd in this room? I can't. I can't do it.
I'm a big Pink
I
Floyd
love Sid
fan.
Barrett era Pink Floyd, and Dark Side of the Moon was good.
I don't care for The Wall, but
Yeah.
Dark Side and Wish You Were Here are fantastic.
Yeah, that's
yeah, I'm
wish-
on the same page. Yeah.
I'll even stand up for the wall, but anything after that is like,
Yeah.
Roger, you
Yeah.
did a big thing about your dad flying the plane and never coming home. What are you doing now? Like, I think of Roger Waters like I think of Art, what's his name, from Everclear. It's like, at what point are you going to stop singing about dad not being around?
my favorite airline is the plane.
Have you ever heard Radio Chaos or something? It's a Roger Waters album. Radio Waves!
Yeah,
It's a concept album about a guy who can hear radio waves. And it's just as good as it sounds.
That's actually kind of what like discourages me from Pink Floyd. It's just like Roger Waters himself is just like, okay, I get it.
I love the wall though.
And,
I
like,
think it's
yeah,
it's brilliantly put together. It's been
I'll stand up
overplayed.
for the wall with you. Like it was
Yeah.
great. I love the movie too.
Build
Like that.
a wall. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's
Different
not-
thing.
Gotta cut
what
the
you're talking
podcast.
And the audience is gone.
That took a dark turn. The podcast has been canceled.
But no, anyways, I'm getting off topic. But
No.
from like most cases about me, for about like liking bands that are pretty popular, is mostly like due to their fan bases. And Radiohead walks a fine line for me because like I've had like many of like, you know, beautiful emotional experiences with like all their albums, and like I love understanding about what they do for a living because like it's, you know, in short, it just fascinates me. But like, however, this also applies to Rush, and this also applies to Tool. Like they have like some like the most like diehard elitist, even at a lot of cases pretentious fan bases.
That's why I
going
hate that band, Rick and Morty.
on. Oh. That also applies to
you
Rick.
have to be really intelligent to understand.
To be fair,
Throw things
you
at
have
that
to
man.
be really intelligent to understand Rick and
Internet's
Morty.
back. They're on your side again.
Pickle Rick is an abstract point of view as a joke.
I think.
Next topic.
Okay,
Next topic.
That one.
Son of a. If a foreign exchange student asks for an hour of music that best sums up the best of our musical history, what would you play for them?
Damn.
I like that question.
What does our mean? Like American? Or can you make your own R?
Can we like? Can
What do
we?
you mean, you people?
I grew up in the Clinton era, man, where you can define anything.
I think it's stateside.
Stateside.
Yeah.
Stateside. Okay.
Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass. No.
Brenda has a ton of.
Well, like all throughout high school, we hosted foreign exchange students in my house, and most of them pretty much listened to their own music from their own countries, except for one who was like, she's from Denmark and she was fascinated by American culture, and that's why she wanted to go on exchange. And keep in mind that this is a long time ago, but she was obsessed with Kanye West. Like she just absolutely loved.
All of our East German foreign exchange students we hosted when I was growing up, Phil Collins. Just obsessed with Phil Collins.
He's basically Kanye.
Kanye of the 80s.
Scoop diddy whoop.
It would be a 1 hour loop of the rendition of One Toke Over the Line performed on the Lawrence Welk Hour.
There you go.
Oh.
It is a thing.
Wow.
Reasonably subjective.
I would say just an hour of Axl Rose saying, "Do you want some reggae?"
No, it's
Give me some reggae!
That's the greatest loop in YouTube history.
Yeah, I honestly feel like if you took all of the covers that Guns N' Roses did on their albums and just made an hour of that.
That would be a reasonable historical
Just like pitch
document.
correct every vocal line and just like also just say, "Give me some reggae." Give me some reggae. Give me some reggae.
Ryan, you hate Guns N' Roses, don't you?
We keep bringing this up every episode.
Every 2
All
episodes.
two.
Our long history.
Our long history.
Do you have to? Do you feel the need? Okay, did the question say the best or just the
Well,
best
if a- if a
representative?
If a foreign exchange student asks for an hour of music that best sums up the best of our musical history,
okay.
what would you play for
So I was
them?
gonna say you'd have to put some real specific turds on there, but
I'm gonna say just "Get Got" by Death Grips just on loop
Def
for about
Leppard.
3 hours. It's like, okay, so this is our music.
You'd be like a different person afterwards.
Def Leppard. I
Def
hear Def
Lips.
Leppard at least once every time I'm in a bar. Like,
Yeah.
no
I
matter
think
what.
that
and
means
this
it's
is not
good.
because you hate them. You have to take something off Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
I
probably.
know you hate them, but I think it's one of the greatest rock and roll albums ever made, and it really captures that time well. I think. With,
Yeah,
like,
realistically
loop.
speaking, yeah. I'd go with "Sweet Child of Mine," if anything.
I
It's
would
like
say
that's
maybe just take every single like American artist that's like like every song that the Beatles did that was a cover of like a black American artist that they just stole. All those. Every
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that
like-
Elvis stole stuff from. It's like this was the best, and then
Yeah.
someone else was like
A mixed disc of
white, though.
appropriation.
Yeah.
like if we're gonna go to that, like I might as well just like I would actually just I would just like introduce like a foreign exchange student to the blues because that's American, like that's American.
We Are the World. Just play that. That's all you need. A lot of those artists are on that song.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Bruce Springsteen. It's a choice we're making.
Oh, there's a video of Bob Dylan just like
Oh,
just
right.
completely zoned out of his mind in the recording booth of "We Are the World" next to a bunch of celebrities.
Yeah.
It's just like.
He's a choice we're making for you and me.
Yeah, like it like just like zooms in on him, just like confused, and then like all of a sudden like it shows Janet Jackson. I think it's. It's like cheer up.
Bob nails his take, and you can hear people go, "Way to go, Bob!" He just goes, "Eh."
He's instantly asleep.
My favorite thing about that was how you gave Janet Jackson the exact same motion. Axl Rose calling for reggae.
No, I was more like.
So diverse.
I mean, it's kind of hard because like I also need to kind of spin around with an American flag if I'm going to do Axl Rose with that in a room.
Next topic. All right.
Let's do it.
Shows that really suck, but you actually love. We were talking about
Oh,
that.
I've got an answer for
Oh,
this.
no, yeah.
Pass.
Pass.
Talk about it? Pass. All right. Saved by the Bell.
Oh, like TV shows. Actually.
Oh yeah, see, I was thinking live music.
Or you could do
Yeah.
concerts too. We could take it from that angle.
Well, I saved this story for the podcast when we were talking. So I'm watching. They had shows in Huron for a while in like the mid '90s, and they'd have it at a place called the Zone, which is cool. But then they started doing it at like a Casey Hall. So I'm at a Casey Hall show, and I see 3 skinny white kids in homemade cardboard armor called Vagitron. And Vagitron takes the stage, and it's a very long hall. So there are a bunch of us sitting towards the end, because we're not really into Vagitron so far, and they did nothing to sell us. Their music was horrible, and then between every song, they'd be like, "Fuck you," and "Fuck Huron," and "Fuck this whole scene." And then they'd play another shitty song.
So this is 100% virgin repellent, then, is what you're saying, right?
It was everything repellent. So I'm going, I kind of hate this, but I also kind of love it. At the end,
I
the
just
band
loved
keeps
it.
playing. The singer charges from the one end of the hall to the other, dives like shoulder first into a pile of folding chairs, and starts stabbing himself with some sort of needle. And at that point, I was like, Vagitron, yeah. It was amazing. I've never seen anything quite like it.
I think this kind of repeats my statement I said earlier, before the podcast, where it's like people will actually be a lot more entertained once you maim yourself on stage.
And with that, we have the title of the episode. Thank you.
Vagitron?
Vagitron.
Episode 2, Vagitron.
Where are they now? Bands we'd like to see reunite.
If you are a member of Vagitron, please contact the Dresch code.
We'll give you a free
I'm
t-shirt.
disappointed because I have a
Still
lot of
alive.
experience with terrible TV shows that I love, and yet I'm never going to come up with that.
I had a great time watching G.G. Allen, but I mean, I got hepatitis. It was awesome.
Vagitron, if you're ever in the Sioux Falls area, hit up Lemons. We'll open for you.
I should have had the question if you could see a behind the music special for any artist, which one would it be?
Now it's Vagitron.
So yeah, Derek was going through some tough times, but he went to some Mormon rehab camp and now he's all good again.
Now we
And
should
he's just
fuck
like
this
barely
scene.
speaking.
You got
Yeah, I'm
fresh new
good.
cardboard armor.
Was it a record needle? He's like, this is what our
I don't
music
know.
sounds like.
I don't know what it was because it was clearly not like a syringe.
RPM!
He just produced a sharp object.
Sewing needle.
I like to weave.
Crochet!
Maybe that's how they put their armor together. I don't know.
So armor. I would say for me, it would be ICP. The one time I got to see them was amazing because like you'd think it would be bad, and I went in full makeup. I felt like an undercover cop. I did not belong here, but everybody was really nice because you think it's like a bunch of we're insane, but they were passing weed around and everything. But the like height of that show was when they had a great light show, so it was nice looking, and they did spray soda on you. But there was one moment where
Fuego.
two little people came out of Jack in the Boxes on opposite sides of the stage, and then did like flips, and then high fived each other midair. I would see ICP again for sure.
I thought like the question was like the worst show that like, you've seen.
That's what I mean. Like
That you
when you
liked.
tell people you saw ICP,
Oh.
it's like,
Oh, that you
why the
liked.
hell were you there? And I'm like, I know.
I
I
think
get
there,
it.
there would be an appeal to like having like paint on your face and like not being recognizable,
Oh, yeah.
just to be like, yeah, I can be wherever the fuck I want.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Vice did a documentary of Danny Brown performing at Gathering of the Chuggalos for some reason, and like I think he said that same thing. It's just like it was probably like one of the most like entertaining experiences that he's ever like seen ICP.
Yeah.
This-
Great place to go if you want to try to do whippets for the first time.
You know, I will not not believe that.
If you're an experienced whippeteer, maybe not for you, but if you're looking to get into
Rack
it,
that whip.
One show that I loved because of how rough it was, Disarm did a show with a band called Pasty Jenny. And they played all originals for like a half hour, and then played 2 hours of 2008 modern rock hits. And each band member had their own traits that I just remember distinctly hating, but loving at the same time. The singer would play rhythm guitar, but always have problems. This guitar's not working right now. Strums one chord. That's not going through. I'm just going to put it away. And he kept bringing it back on. And then just... The bassist had this look on his face like he'd rather be somewhere else. Like he had this look like... And the guitarist's thought he was hot shit and just kept making faces like. And then Bobby, our singer, walked up to his great job, man. He goes, "Yo, you like that? You like that?" And then the drummer had this look on his face the whole time, like he was surprised he had discovered drumsticks for the first time, like. And the singer went during when we were talking to him after the show. He goes, "Yeah, I got vocal lessons with Jeff Tate from Queensryche." I'm like, for like a day. So I just remember that show for
30
me.
minutes through Skype.
On dial-up.
I'm going to take this a completely different direction. I saw a theater show.
Oh, sure.
It's called My Soul and Other Broken Things. Real great. Real great lighthearted comedy there.
Oh, yeah.
But it very distinctly had the feel of a 10-minute play that someone had extended into an hour and a half long show. And so they were just grasping at straws to fill it with content. So it was about this girl that was with this weird cab driver that looked like a hobo. And he had mystical powers. He could like pull dimensions together through the power of interpretive dance. And he was like trying to get her to talk with her dead mother, who was very abusive in her early life. And there were people with masks, and it was
Why, mama?
it was weird, but I also just loved it because of how crazy it was. I'm pretty sure the cab driver made that sound.
It's amazing you had a wave clip from that very play.
Mama.
The worst show I actually enjoyed. I think this one's gonna be a little bit of a stretch, but one of my bands actually played in Sioux City. I think about like a year ago.
Humble brag.
No, that's not the. No, that. I mean, I don't think it. I think it was fun, but I think still.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you there.
You're throwing me off the lip, but yeah, no, it's humble bragging. We were playing at this show in Sioux City with like a bunch of like other like local and regional like acts and stuff. Like at like this bar that had like an outdoor patio. Every time like a band would actually like take down and like another one would set up, like there'd be this dude this really Hurley looking dude with like a Jackson guitar and like one little Line 6 Spider amp. And then he would just like turn it up all the way, put a microphone right there, and then he would just like start like shredding and playing Slayer songs poorly. And like some guy would hold up another side saying "free metal," and then you'd see like there'd be a couple people in like the outdoor.
Let me go.
And then you would see people like in the outdoor bar area on tables and stuff. They would pick up their drinks and they would just shift over them. And like nobody would just be near. And like the guy is just going nuts too. He's like.
So you're saying there's a reason it was free?
Yeah, there's a reason. Yeah, no, there's a reason it was
to pay
free.
for it.
But
Please just
it
take
was
this.
like one of the best things I ever got to experience because like it was just some dude having fun. I was like, "You go, man." And like it was like, "Play Ready Blood."
Close.
You'll get there.
It's sprinkling blood at this point.
Raining some sort of fluid.
It's misty blood.
Raining phlegm.
You combine that guy with Pasty Jenny.
Oh,
You
that's
got
a show.
something there.
That's at least one.
You have him do the
option.
soundtrack for that
The forecast calls
jam
for
band equivalent of a
partly
theater
cloudy
production you
skies
saw.
this morning,
And it's gonna be great.
but clearing up in the afternoon.
Oh, one other thing during the Pasty Jenny set. Here's another Puddle of Mud song.
No, it's the worst thing you could possibly say.
Maybe I'm the one.
They had another
Okay.
song.
Are you sure that's not the same song?
They had surprisingly like 5 hits, and I'm like,
Yeah, but how many songs did they have?
oh,
I'm an AC/DC fan. They had like a 40-year career off of 3 songs.
oh, I think they covered.
And they
Foo
were the
Fighters
best
at
3
this band.
songs in existence.
Damn right.
You know who discovered Puddle of Mud? Fred Durst.
Of course.
So
Yeah!
Thanks, Fred.
Well, we
Fred.
can add that to his list of crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
You can take that all away.
Yeah.
Do you think Fred has like an entire baseball cap room?
Yeah.
Just
Like a dungeon.
like, do
I
I,
just-
feel green or red today? Like,
That's where I go to cry.
I think he's. Do I want to cry? Great. Yeah, boy.
that's Flair Flav.
Hot dog flavored tears.
As I'm trying to make
Almost
this
completely.
starfish
It's
come out.
got to be accurate too.
Forgot that album title.
It's not a good album.
No, it's the one with chocolate starfish and the hot dog.
Isn't that the album where he tries to talk a little shit about Nine Inch Nails too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember listening to that and him dropping that, like, oh, you're not talking shit about Trent Reznor right now, are you? While you're playing music?
Yeah, have you seen the YouTube video of Fred Durst's guitar solo?
No.
Yeah.
It's
Shake
good.
my friends tonight.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
He doesn't know how to play.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
I love the single they released on the radio of Stained Aaron Lewis playing outside, and then Fred Durst does backup vocals. By that he just shouts. It was live, so between verses he just go Biloxi, what a city, man, like those lighters, and then you just go back to the verses.
That's the best possible situation when you see Fred Durst backup vocals. At least he's just yelling words.
Yeah, like those ladders. What are they, Bic?
Take that piece off, you can use it. Don't leave it around the kids.
I think
I'm giving Fred way too much of an accent in there, I don't know why.
he paused and goes, Biloxi, this is the real motherfucking deal, y'all. You see those lighters, and then Aaron's probably just like, what the hell's your problem? Like, any other shows that you have recent memory? Or
Nothing.
Oh, I saw Two Live Crew for free once. I was outside, knew they were playing, and I was at a different bar, and I was outside on the phone arguing with this terrible woman I was dating at the time. Some guy came up, he's like, hey, you want to go to that show? And I knew it was Two Live Crew. I was like, yep, I'll call you later. Click. And I went in, went in the bar, and I had a couple friends there, and I only had 2 tickets. So I was like, Jeremy, come with me. We won't be long, but just, you gotta come with me. So we went across the street. It's not a real full venue. There were maybe 30 people there, and Luke hasn't been there forever. Because I was like, who is still in Two Live Crew?
Yeah.
What do I remember from Bands in the USA? And they pull 2 dudes up, because a lot of dudes in the crowd. Spoiler alert, not a lot of ladies.
I, for one, am shocked.
And so they took 2 dudes, sat them in chairs on the stage, and then they had the 2 female dancers charge them, plant their hands, and flip around and land crotch first on their faces. And I was like, oh my god, this is worth the free ticket price. All right, we're good. We're full. We can go now, right? You can go.
next topic.
Gary Busey's teeth.
At least it was a short one.
Pass or fail?
Are we saying pass or fail to his teeth?
I would
or-
say Dentine Ice, and then that's it.
I would just yell. I would just yell.
It's fail.
Yeah, it's fail.
Fail, okay.
Thank you for your work in Predator 2.
So, for those keeping track, anything teeth related is a fail.
No.
Oh yeah.
No one bring up teeth. I'll put that in the next Facebook post.
Unless it's the movie Teeth, then I'm willing.
Right.
I'm not.
Oh. Which is better, The Office or Parks and
Ooh,
Recreation?
pass.
Pass.
Fail?
Because I didn't really watch either of them. But I'll talk about.
I've only watched one, but I feel strongly. So.
Pass.
I've watched bits of The Office, so I'm good. Yeah, I'll go with pass. I want to hear your guys'.
Pass.
Pass.
It's a pass.
Pass.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
I say this having not really watched The Office, but back when I'd only seen like little internet clips of each, I was always entertained by the Parks and Rec stuff and never by The Office stuff.
I really liked a lot of
Rare
Office,
exceptions.
like, for a few seasons, and then I kind of tapered off. There was no chance of me tapering off to Parks and Rec. I still put that on for the background and laugh.
See, The Office had 9 seasons. I enjoyed the first 3. And then after that, once Jim and Pam started dating, I was like, no conflict
Yep.
anymore. What's the point? And so after that, I kind of just gradually stopped watching
We
it.
call this the moonlighting effect.
Right, exactly. That's the good point. It's like when they start dating, like there's no more tension. Like, what's the? Oh, Dwight's in trouble with something. Oh, so that Parks and Rec was actually I could keep the attention for all 7 seasons.
And to me, I think it's just there's a more diverse cast of characters that were a lot more interesting doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to be the one who disagrees with everybody.
No, that's great.
No.
We encourage it.
I love both. Like, I was definitely into both of them. But The Office is the only one I've been able to go back and rewatch over and over again. There's something about Parks and Rec that I just don't enjoy anymore. I liked it when it came out, and now I'm just like, I saw it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, coming from a guy who's had no experience of watching any of those, only through.
You have my full attention.
I've watched a few episodes with a buddy over at his place on some nights, and even then, yeah, right. You can take that one out of context. If you want to.
Were you exposing yourself to new metal?
Serge, look at this.
Exposing you. Look at System of a Down. No, but I've watched more of The Office than I would say of Parks and Recreation. I've watched Parks and Recreation through clips online, and I've actually sat through a few episodes of The Office through the friend's house, through my friend's house. And I would actually say I'm kind of more on The Office side. I mean, just mainly because I don't have much experience in it, but I've seen this more, so I'm just gonna have to side with that.
I like the ensemble on Parks and Rec better than the ensemble in The Office. However, I like Steve Carell more than I like Amy Poehler. I just think Steve Carell is more fascinating to me as a lead character. I love Amy Poehler, but her character got a little more, I don't know how to say it, more confident in herself. I loved the naivety, but confident, like
You don't
hope
like
in
a
her.
powerful woman.
I do. I'm not saying that. Just, I don't know, her character got a little more cocky towards the end, and I just was like...
Her character changed a lot throughout
Yeah.
the show, but I think
Oh no, character development is so horrible.
Steve Carell went through the same thing towards the end there,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I think I can watch The Office up to a certain point, but Parks and Rec I think has a few storylines that I'm really not interested in. So like it seemed like I was only partly interested in Parks and Rec the whole way, whereas The Office I loved it up until a point, and then I didn't.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Healthy dialogue on the Dresch code.
Yeah. That was wholesome.
Let's never do that again.
No.
I'm all
Fuck all of you!
I'm all itchy.
That's another thing that people have way serious opinions about those two shows, and I realize even when I said I haven't really watched them, I'm like, oh god, they're gonna be so upset. But just like you're the opposite, I'm realizing I have seen way more Parks and Rec than The Office, and just based on that, I would pick Parks and Rec.
And everybody in Drama Club, it turns into like a United Nations conference when you talk about Parks and Recreation versus The Office.
There's an
Like
episode
everybody's
like that
just
on
like
Parks
sitting
and Rec
down,
where they do the
going into
Model
detail
UN.
about everything.
And it's amazing.
Get your notes out.
Adjusting their outfits.
And if you look at all the cast on Parks and Rec, just like Aziz, Chris Pratt, like Aubrey Plaza, just
Nick Offerman.
Amy Poehler, it's just like endless supply of great talent on that show. So it's just like, yeah,
Xena Warrior Princess.
right.
Yeah.
Space Ghost, Coast to Coast.
Andy Samberg as the park ranger is.
Oh, and Harris Whittles. I've been rewatching him. Every time Harris appears, I'm like, oh, Harris,
Oh, yeah.
we miss you.
R.I.P.
Next topic.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you read the last one? My last one was Gary Busey, so
So it's your turn. Okay.
yeah, one of these is gonna go through. Which cake is better, the band or the food?
I like this one.
Damn.
Pass.
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 As a person who manages a cake shop, I have got.
You manage the band?
I mean,
just their
I
merch.
didn't want to brag about it.
Hashtag humble brag.
I'm gonna go with the band. If I have to look at cake one more time, I'm gonna be so mad.
I love the band. More.
You can listen to the band wherever through any sort of streaming service. It's basically free. Cake the food has never been free for me.
I get a lot of free cake from her, so.
It's not really.
I go to a
like-
lot of birthday
Checkmate.
parties.
I'd
Yeah.
say stolen cake before
So-
I'd say free cake.
Sometimes I know the people.
I'm going cake because you can do a lot of different interesting things with cake. Whereas Cake the Band is
Yeah, you have
kind
to
of got a
specify.
one track, which is fine. I'm not anti-cake, but I'm not crossing my fingers waiting for that new cake album to come out.
No.
Whereas if you're like, I put bacon in a cake, I'm like, give me that cake.
I would say cake the food edges Cake the band, but pie crushes them both.
Thank you.
Both the food and the number.
I
Up top.
agree with that.
Agree with that.
I would say
You're
that
really
Cake
nailing
the
it.
band is like a food because they're like Chipotle in the sense that they're extremely consistent. You always know what you're gonna get, and it's
Yeah.
decent.
And
But
And you
it's not
always
amazing.
hate yourself
Yes.
the next morning.
It's always salmonella.
It makes me
That's what
poop.
it is.
That's all.
There's a fashion nugget joke in there, but I tried to take the high road.
Cake is the primary band I listen to when I have the trot. So
I
Is it
have.
because you're going the distance?
right.
He's going for speed.
Going for speed all alone.
All alone.
See, I have a, I go on and off with Cake the Band and Cake the Food. It actually just kind of depends for me. If I wanted to shove it into my ears, I will go listen to Cake if I wanted to. But if I wanted to shove it into my mouth, I'm going to choose Cake.
Do you get allergies where your ears get real itchy? Because a nice, hard, thin piece of cake that's been out for like 2 weeks, you can really get in there and itch a little bit. And if it crumbles, you just turn.
Okay, I'm actually going to side with you then. I actually like Cake the Food then better myself. I'm just going to treat my ears.
Well, I'm married to a debate champion. I don't want to brag, but...
I want to say
humble brag.
Which Harris Whittles invented.
I think
That's true.
We have to change the
Harris.
episode title to Humble Brag now. I think.
Humble bragging Vagitron.
No, we're sticking with Vagitron.
How about Vagitron, parentheses, Humble Brag?
The
Compromise.
humble bragging Vagitron.
Right now, my executive decision is that it is the cardboard armor of Vagitron.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
And then I'm going to put a hashtag
Humble brag.
See? Another healthy
good SEO.
dialogue.
Yeah,
That's good.
We are
I
a
like
model
every-
for America.
I like everybody's nice sort of confidence here tonight about praising themselves, humbly bragging for them
Right.
for each of their own.
I want to see a Cake CD. Humble Brag.
I still prefer the band Cake to the actual cake. They are both delicious and listenable.
Right. So, next topic.
We're just gonna ignore that Zach ate a CD.
Don't wanna get
Or that you think cake is like a piece of pastry is listenable.
CD cake.
Random side story about messing with CDs. I bought the Weird Al album Running with Scissors back in 1999, and it was the first Weird Al album without his glasses and mustache. And so I Sharpied in glasses and a mustache on the cover when I was 5 because I was dissatisfied with this new look. And I still have that CD to this day.
I approve.
Yeah.
You can tell.
I'll post it on Instagram later.
Okay.
All
I
right.
get to his 60s and go back to that look.
Yeah.
He's not far off.
Yeah,
No,
he's, yeah, he's in
2
his
years.
Yeah.
It's weird. And he still looks great. Like, yeah.
Them and They Might Be Giants turn 60 in a couple of years.
That's just
Jesus.
crazy. Favorite acoustic ballad regardless of corniness? Pass.
I'm the one who wants to.
with you. Pass?
I'll pass.
Pass. All right. That snaps. That's that.
Oh, so many are coming to my mind. Every rose has its thorn. There's like
More than words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extreme.
I mean,
I just realized this is making me pick between Harry Chapin songs, which is very difficult for me.
they're both. Well, to me, they're both saying it whether it's corny or not. So I can actually say that it can be not corny. I'm just gonna go with because I can't pick one. I'm just gonna go with the entire catalog of Elliott Smith
No.
because
There you
it's just great acoustic work.
He's from Omaha.
He is.
That's all I know.
Midwest,
Big
Midwest
Stars
represent.
13. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, that's also a really great cover too. Oh,
I like the original.
Oh yeah, no, the original.
But
The original.
both are
one's
great,
as well.
but I like
Yeah,
the original.
Oh, Big Star.
Yeah,
Yeah.
13.
Oh, okay. I don't know their music, but
Good
I'll
stuff.
listen to it.
I might have to go with. I don't know if there are any Lagwagon fans in here.
I like Lagwagon.
I like
But Joey Cape's acoustic version of Violins, which I've listened to through like 4 breakups, so I really like that song. The acoustic version I like because it's still got some happy, you're gonna be okay, buddy, even though everything's pretty fucked.
I'm gonna go with my girlfriend's acoustic version of Piano Man, #HumbleBrag. I had to get one in there.
It's called
is that a-
Piano Man, but cool, she's doing it on a guitar.
Guitar Woman.
Guitar woman.
Sing us a
Weird Al
song,
Yankovic,
guitar
You Don't
woman.
Love Me Anymore.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was on my top 3. I was like,
Okay, for corniness, I'm gonna go with Hoop Stinks, The Reason.
Oh my god, I thought you were gonna
Oh.
say Korn. Like, I'm gonna say Korn's acoustic version of, and then insert a Korn song.
Oh.
I can't remember here. Wait, what was that one?
I know. I
they
know.
did an
Funny
unplugged
Nuts.
special.
Yeah, no, I'm aware they did an unplugged special. I never bothered listening to it just because I didn't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
a
does
good
Mrs.
reason.
Robinson count as an acoustic? It's pretty acoustic, but then it has instruments.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
All right.
Do you plug any of those instruments in?
I mean, I didn't personally, but
All right then.
once I get that time travel car done,
I'm gonna go with Fuck Her Gently by Tenacious D.
nice.
could have gone with that.
Good
Oh,
stuff.
39 would have been a brilliant one by Tenacious D too. And we could have tied it into teeth.
Right.
Oh, they fucked our asses from the Rise of the Phoenix on their latest that
We could go down a Tenacious D hole there.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a favorite, but I have a least favorite, and it would be the Taylor Swift version of
September.
September.
Oh my god.
It's bad.
Yeah, that's universally panned. So yeah, we're with you.
Thanks.
Everybody's with you.
Yeah,
It's
for
been, like have you tried listening to the whole thing?
No.
It's impossible.
I've
I don't
yet
want
to
it.
hear it, and I'm
I haven't tried
thankful.
listening.
Yeah, I
to
think
it.
I'm with you, and
Seconds
let's
is like the
live
max.
a good life.
Yeah.
Let's just
Let's like-
take
yeah,
their
let's-
word for it.
I like to cringe a little, you know. I pick
A good
videos. that
a good
make
cringe
me
every
feel
now and
pain.
then is great, but I mean,
It's like going to those bad shows.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's an enjoyment that it's visceral. It's,
Yeah.
like I was stabbed, but I kind of felt.
I have
good.
I have the Frank Sinatra album where he does Mrs. Robinson, so I can hurt if I need to.
William Shatner in his singing special.
Rocket Man.
Yeah. Or Mr. Tambourine Man.
Ooh.
Mr. Tambourine Man.
Pat
Common
Boone.
People's okay. It's,
See that album? Yeah, that album with Ben Folds is awesome. But the old one is
Yeah,
some
like the
scare
really
to
old
it.
one.
He's got a Johnny Cash record where he does "It Ain't Me, Babe," and it's kind of amusingly terrible.
Have you ever heard
That's
"Look at Them
great.
Beans" by Johnny Cash?
Which one?
Look at them beans. The chorus is,
No.
but look at them beans. Jim turned me on to it, and I was like, oh, there's a reason I've never heard this Johnny Cash song, and yet I should not have lived this long without knowing there's a song where Johnny Cash almost scolds me for not looking at his beans. And my dad refers to horses' balls as beans, so it adds a whole nother level.
My brain
'cause
went there right away.
I pictured Johnny Cash in a field with my father going, that's a good looking horse. Her name's Sky. His name's Sky. I should have known. Look at them beans!
My dad is a Johnny Cash fan. I'm gonna have to tell him about this.
Ask him about look at them beans.
Yes.
I regret that I'd forgotten about Nicolas Cage singing "Love Me Tender,"
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
but now I need to go back and listen to that.
Oh.
Pat Boone's metal album.
Oh god.
Oh, I forgot that existed.
Christopher Lee's
Exit
metal.
Light.
Christopher Lee's Christmas metal albums are great.
That's awesome.
Yes.
They're great. Rest in peace, man.
No. Humble
Right.
brag.
I don't
It's
know
a humble brag if he's dead.
I knew
Hey man, your tits up. Humble brag.
I don't mean to brag, but I listen to
Christopher
metal
Lee.
music. Well, you know
It's a humble brag for whatever killed him. Yeah. That's a humble brag.
Calcium deficiency, humble brag.
Jesus.
Next topic was. Did you do the last one? Or I did the acoustic valve one.
Yeah.
Not that one.
No. Don't do the Morrissey one. The long one?
If you could travel back in time and could only kill one person, who would be in the coin toss? Mine would be between Hitler and the guys from AC/DC.
Who would you have to choose between? I don't know.
Well,
There's only one person in ACDC.
My first choice is the person who wrote that question, and
wait, but hold on. If we're going currently, that means I have the choice between Hitler and Axl Rose.
I'm just picturing AC/DC as a Voltron-like entity where they combine. Combine to be Vagitron, baby!
They're just like all molded in Marshall cabinets. Just
A very heavy duck walk. Coo.
Do we pass or fail on this one?
Pass.
Pass.
Sure.
I feel like Hitler has to be on the one side of everybody's. Like,
Yeah.
like,
It's either-
we're
I mean,
only
it's
going
actually-
to
I-
one
I'll bet his
person.
question meant between Hitler and who else.
Yeah.
That's.
But like I would see, I always take issue with that because why do we have to continue the cycle of violence? Like go back in time and really just nurture and
Have you guys
progress him with his art. You
Have
know.
you guys watch Preacher at all? The show.
Do you want Super Hitler?
that's how you get Super Hitler.
Too. So in the second season, they show like hell is just reliving your bad day over. This is a slight Preacher spoiler. Hell is reliving your bad day over and over again, and Hitler's bad day is when he was showing his art to some guy and he made fun of it, and it made Hitler sad. And then, you know what happened after that.
Yeah.
So maybe if you killed whoever
Now,
ruined
spoiler
Hitler's
alert for
day.
history.
So if you killed whoever made Hitler so angry.
Wait, there was a World War II?
He has the same origin story as Charles Manson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that why Manson started? So he
He
didn't like
was
his
hanging out
art?
with the Beach Boys, and he was playing music with them, and then they got a record deal, and he didn't, and then he
It
kind
was
of
like,
Yeah, he
fuck
just-
the world.
Yeah.
he was
Meanwhile, Johnny Cash is like, sorry, Chuck. Look at them beans! Fuck!
Probably at that moment, like when like the Beach Boys just dumped Manson, was when Johnny Cash just yelled, "Look at them beans!"
That was the input.
See, if Charles had looked at them beans, then we'd have a
Yeah.
completely different history.
I feel like there's a history of like food novelty songs by like great artists that like Moon Pie by Tom Petty. I don't know if you know that song, but it's I don't know if he's talking about edible moon pie or like horse vagina.
I'll have to,
Moon pie.
I'll have to call my dad after this. Hey, Dad, do you call horse vag moon pie? No, it's Austin, your son. Yeah, it's a real. I'm not drunk. I'm driving. You know what? Never mind. Listen to the podcast.
Dad, I'm
It's like a radio show. Fuck. I'll talk to you later. All right, so it's Hitler or someone else.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Hitler and the guy that made fun of Hitler's art. Seems like it's his fault now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I mean, if I'm gonna have to choose between Hitler and AC/DC, I'm gonna have to go with Hitler. Hey, that's just. It's
Bold statement.
undebatable.
Wow.
What-
You know
what
we're
are gonna-
taping this,
what are you
right?
gonna debate with me about? Like, why would you even like pose that in the question? It's like, why would you like want to like have a choice between? Oh man, can't decide. It's just, I don't know. If we're gonna have to go back in time, I'd probably kill the guy who wrote that question too. But. Zach.
Not me. That's a toughie.
I'm trying to think of
I don't-
someone who screwed something up that I would love musically or movie-wise. I went down a weird hall. I was like, you could kill Ridley Scott, and then I'd get my Alien sequel that I want. But if you kill Ridley Scott, then the Alien wouldn't exist. Glad I vocalized all this for the fucking podcast. Trying to think of somebody who screwed up something that I really wanted to hear and I wanted to make.
What if you
Right
killed
here.
him at like a certain point? You know, you don't have to go kill him as a
Oh,
baby.
that's true.
Unless you want to kill a
I
baby.
would take out Ridley Scott like 2 years before Prometheus came out.
Ooh. Yeah.
All right.
I felt that.
George Lucas,
When?
1994.
You know, we could also
Patton
just go
Oswalt
back
has
in
a bit
time
about
and
that.
tell
Yeah,
him
that
not to
bit
do
is
these
great.
things too. Like,
If you killed him at the right time between Empire and Jedi, maybe David Lynch would have gotten Return of the Jedi, and we would have got
The most avant-garde.
the most
Star Wars.
unpleasant Star Wars movie you'd ever seen.
but then he'd be the
Was
guy.
there
to
so
say-
much rape in the first two?
But then he'd be the guy that says like, I think we overdid it. We definitely overdid it. Like, you know, when you do an episode 1. Wait, like what Lucas did in episode 1. There's
We
footage.
wrote a first draft in like 3 days, and everyone went, "Good job,
like,
George."
there's video footage of like George Lucas at the video screening of The Phantom Menace, and then like right after that, like he just like looks at the movie, is like, I think we overdid it. we definitely overdid it.
So we've got 2 filmmakers that we picked. Boy, we're really changing history here. I want my movie selection to be better.
I would pick Charles Guiteau, who is the man who assassinated President James Garfield.
There you
All right.
Just to pick not a filmmaker.
go.
I mean, I'm gonna go with like this, like, you know, nurture and not have this violent cycle. But I mean, if I had to do the violent cycle, then I'd probably do Vlad the Impaler. Then I wouldn't have to hear Dracula a lot.
He was a bad guy.
Bad
Plus,
dude.
that'd be like a pretty sweet fight.
Yeah, I would just like show up and like just like,
We would all be Muslim then.
but I would show up but like I could show up in a time before there was
Say,
guns
like,
even
bad.
invented. I would just like be like, hey, and then he would just look over me. He's like, ah, and then that'd be it.
I changed my answer to Ted Bundy because he's not the right Bundy that I was thinking of. You're not Al Bundy!
Oh
Die.
no.
Oh, yes, what he did was terrible, but he's not Al Bundy.
He really sullied the Bundy name for you.
None of us are ever going to get work in anything again.
You're not Ed O'Neill.
I think it would be a fun challenge to go back and try and kill Rasputin.
That'd be fun.
Be like, you know, rather than
He
make
took
it
out half
easy.
the world.
What if
took out
that's what happened? Just all these people have gone back and tried to kill him.
Well, you've heard the story of them trying to kill Rasputin.
Yeah.
Where just like poison him, still didn't work. Fuck it, shoot him, still didn't work. Shit, and then the autopsy, lungs full of
him.
water. He drowned.
Yeah.
Cut his head off, set him on fire, shoot him into space. Nothing.
You could go
like
back and
racing.
kill Pol Pot, and then as like a bonus, hear what Holiday and Cambodia, what they do in the Kennedy song when Pol Pot doesn't exist. Like, what's he gonna chant?
Jello would still be
Cold
saying,
hot, cold hot, cold hot, cold hot. Like, cold hot.
Jello would still be saying some really profane things if you listen to the song.
Me soul on fire, feeling hot, hot, hot.
It's my favorite Dead Kennedys.
Feel hot, feel hot, feel hot, feel hot, feel hot, feel hot, so hot, hot.
All right, last topic.
Alright.
Probably
For all the marbles.
do one more topic and then.
What's your
shameless
favorite
plugs,
molar?
And then call it good. Favorite molar?
Favorite molar. Favorite molar.
Kurt
is actually
Molar?
this
Oh,
one.
it's Loader. My bad. Hall or Oates?
Ooh.
Oh, pass or fail.
I don't know the difference.
That's my first
Same
question.
guy.
Fail.
Fail.
One more topic, Ryan.
Okay. Okay.
I've never had wholemeal for breakfast, but
When you had oats meal.
Lou Johnson will be in Fargo on Wednesday.
Is it progression if a cannibal uses a fork?
That's a song title. That's definitely a song title.
I remember who. One of my friends commented this question, so I'm like,
It's like it's
Oh,
like Chiodos or something.
probably, yeah,
One
it
of
sounds
those-
about
One
right.
of those bands. It's like
Should
one
we
of those
fail this?
piano
Let's
yeah,
fail.
yeah.
Fail only because we need to end strong.
Yeah.
We didn't end off with some.
You got it right. It is. Yep.
Or whatever.
Why do they play the Eric Clapton version of I Shot the Sheriff on the radio constantly when it's clearly the lamest version of the song?
Because white people run everything.
I think we
Well, because
addressed that
that's
earlier.
show's run of white people.
because we are dead and this is hell.
Should we fail this one?
Yeah.
So we gotta get
Okay.
a solid ender.
We need to get some good ones.
If you go into the future, who would you kill?
Myself, capping me at 50. If you could arrange a show, comedy or music, with 3 other performers, dead or alive, who would they be?
Oh, I like this one.
Pass.
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 Pass. Awesome.
The Dresch show.
3 performers.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a mixed bill, and I would put Maria Bamford on it.
Mhm.
I have to do They Might Be Giants, and then Coheed and Cambria. I just love that fucking band so much. But Maria's gonna headline.
I would watch that show.
I want.
I'd be on a lot of drugs, so I think it would work.
I would have Ben Carson as my right hand man, like Dave and Paul, and I would have Ween be my musical like band to play through transition, like the Roots and Jimmy Fallon, and then my musical guest would be Bjork, but her live setup is a laptop and a blender.
Did I misunderstand this question?
If you could arrange a show, ... comedy or music, with 3 other performers, dead or alive, who would they be?
Okay, I thought you were setting up like a talk show, like
Yeah, I
is
was
that what you were
kinda
doing, like you're.
Yeah,
on-
I'm setting up a talk show
I
here.
like that. Okay.
It can be whatever kind of
Unique.
show you want.
Yeah.
I've got 2 out of 3, but I want to put somebody awful in it so they feel bad about themselves. And so their fans are confused. Like I'm thinking like Richard Pryor, Bill Hicks, and Jeff Dunham. and you make Dunham either in the middle. Yeah, he has to be in the middle. So his fans are confused and miserable. And he's going nowhere with the puppets,
Possibly inebriated.
but he's got to do a full hour.
Yeah, went through a divorce. Oh, did you went through a divorce? Yeah, I went through a divorce.
Would you close all the fire exits as well?
Oh yeah.
Make it a battle.
But I
royale.
think I feel like I can come up with somebody better than Jeff Dunham. Maybe make a Nickelback guy do an acoustic hour.
My
Chad
show,
Kroger.
Yeah, Chad Kroger has to do a themed
Suicide
acoustic hour.
Fest 2019. Come and kill yourself.
BYOR. Bring your own rope.
Bring your own needle.
I would do Bill Hicks, Dennis Leary, and a Bill Hicks Dennis Leary impersonator
Oh, that's genius.
to
That's
close
genius.
the show.
So they would hate each other, and then they would both hate the guy, the impersonator.
So that would mend them together. It ends happily. That's just.
And you have Bill Hicks open, so Dennis Leary is like, boy. Okay, smoking is. Oh, nope. I have a show about a fireman.
I'm just gonna have Christopher Titus and Louis C.K. dueling back and forth with Bo Burnham just gently playing music in the background.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Saul Williams, Paul Williams, and Hank Williams.
Junior or senior?
Senior or third.
We'll just ignore the junior.
No, the Hank Williamses are like the Indiana Jones films. Ignore the even-numbered ones, go with the odd numbers.
So I was just thinking it's like the opposite of Star Trek.
Or that. Yeah.
I think I would do my 3 least favorite performers: Ryan Seacrest, Bob Dylan, and Jeff Foxworthy. Except they all have to switch jobs. Like, Bob Dylan has to host.
It might be a redneck if.
And Ryan Seacrest has to
Tell
do
Joe.
comedy. Yeah.
You might be a
hate
redneck if.
There's a video of Ryan Seacrest trying to high five a blind guy. You ever see that? And then he just goes, shakes his hand.
Classic. Classic.
You've made me feel really bad for Bob Dylan in that scenario. Say what you want, but the man's given us a lot, and you're putting him in that hell.
He doesn't
Welcome to
care.
the show, ladies and
He's barely
gentlemen.
been there.
Tonight we have a lot going on for you.
He just-
How about that White House over there?
What do you do for a living? Where you from? I'm really sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this, about another goddamn Bob Dylan impression. You've been hearing these since I was 12.
There is like a traveling folk artist who, like, his whole act is basically being Bob Dylan when he's playing songs, and then doing bits, like full bits in between. It is. I mean, he's not an impersonator, but he might as well be. It's very strange. He thinks he's a
Amazing.
comedian for sure, but
Amazing.
Oh, I just
Has
thought
anyone
of,
told him?
I just clapped politely.
was anybody in Sioux Falls when Costas played? This was like 7 years ago.
I don't think.
Costas is a traveling French
evacuated it.
group, a man and a woman who play performance art. And my 2 friends, the 2 Yost brothers, called me. The Kickback played with them in Rapid the night before, and both Yost brothers do not like live music despite doing it. So they never recommend anything. So they both called me like, dude, you got to go see this band. It's in Sioux Falls tonight. And it's messy. There is a dildo on a drill. A plastic baby comes out of places. My main quote I can remember is a French man yelling in my face, "Personal lubricant! Personal lubricant!" And I want Costas to be on like a bill with maybe Striper. Or something even more conservative than Striper.
Newsboys?
Newsboys.
Newsboys.
Or Cutlass. Cutlass.
I don't know who Cutlass is.
They're a
Christian
Christian
rock.
rock band.
Let's do Cutlass because me and Christian Rock really don't get along. So let's
I-
throw
you know,
one of
I-
them to
my-
the personal lubricant
My
wolves.
parents are pastors, so I grew up around this stuff.
I'm an
Don't
internet
accept
reverend.
it.
We have a lot in common. So yeah, I want Costas and I want Newsboys. Oh, and then I think there was this guy that Mr. Show made fun of that was just a fartist. And he would just tell jokes and fart.
You should get Joe Austin just trying to paint.
Frank
It's
Stallone.
Joel Osteen, but in like a weird game with like, can you hit Joel Osteen with a paintball?
They're not shooting paintballs at him, they're just throwing the guns.
He's sitting at a dunk tank like,
Can I have some money? No. Clunk. Good question. That's a solid ender.
I don't know who the third act would be, but my new answer is for the first 2 acts would be Gallagher and Gigi Allen.
You have Noel. Or the actual
Gallagher.
comedian
The
Gallagher.
comedian
the
Gallagher.
watermelon guy.
You know, I'm going to change mine from Ben Carson and Ween. I'm just going to have the Gallagher brothers just argue with each other for an entire night.
Till
As
one has a
Bjork-
heart attack.
Yeah, until Bjork is actually just like, and Bjork's playing in the background.
She plays him off with a blender. I am tired of this.
It's so quiet.
And like meanwhile, the background is just like, what the fuck you asking? Hey, you fight a bot.
I wrote Wonderwall.
You're all Wonderwall.
Oh, I was thinking like Gallagher 1 and 2, and it said Gallagher Brothers.
Yes, go.
I was hitting watermelons when you were still in diapers.
Well, Bjork blends watermelons.
You can just do it like this. I can't do a Bjork impression at all. At all.
I think that's our last topic.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, let's go around the circle and do shameless plugs, what you want to promote. And I'll start with Jacob right over here.
I have a tape coming out July 10th, and it's just self-titled as Jake. And it's coming out on Total Drag Records. It'll be their 8th release show, July 10th, Total Drag.
So if you want to expose yourself to some new metal,
Expose yourself to some new metal.
No one's gonna use that mic ever again.
My schedule is a bit open at the moment, so if you have any holes in your comedy show that you need filled, I am able to do that.
If you want to expose
We're not
yourself to
doing
some
it.
comedy.
Yeah.
I'm taking the high road on that.
Appreciate that. You're not used to that.
No, I'm checking it. I'm trying something new. Are you done? Okay. Please watch the trailer for the Pomp Room documentary, which is online at Facebook/PompRoomDoc or Twitter/PompRoomDoc or YouTube, where you just type in Pomp Room. My good friend Danny Yost had a stroke, and we are having a benefit show for him, which we are reuniting our band Hollander. That is on June 9th. It is $10, and it will have Janitor Bob, the Cartwright Brothers, Dr. Barkey, which is supposed to be crazy strange, the Jono All-Stars, International Cover-Up, and then a late 30s punk band who used to write angry songs about the singer's ex-girlfriend, and now he feels a little weird about him because one of them gave him a TV a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I thought you meant like late 30s, as in like 1930s punk music.
There's no TVs then, Sally. So yes, please come to the show. Help support my buddy Danny. If you want to come watch some punk rock, we're going at 12:30 a.m. So yeah, that's what we're doing there. So please check out the Pomp Room documentary and please come to the show.
Woo!
And please keep listening to this podcast because they'll get rid of the teeth questions and it's gonna be seamless.
If you keep watching, we'll burn the Morrissey question right in front of you.
I'm opening for Morrissey coming up.
Oh no!
Which means you're headlining a show.
Yes. Go to YouTube. You Had to Be There with Ryan De La Garza. That's my show where comedians talk to strangers on chat roulette. It's very fun and interesting, and there's some penises. So if you're into that, you can't find those on the internet, then welcome to it. And then
what they sick.
follow me on Twitter at @ofthegarza because I don't have a pathetic number of followers. And then go to ifeelrealistic.bandcamp.com. My band just put out our EP, This Is Where I Am, and it's just 5 songs, so it's like you can get through it in 12 minutes, and you go listen to the whole thing free. You can buy it, but nobody buys music anymore. So. But we're not on Spotify, so not playing the game is what our singer said. We're not playing the game. Okay.
You earn the pennies the old-fashioned way. You find them on the ground outside this podcast.
We stick to DIY roots. We stick specifically to Bandcamp and not any mainstream streaming sites.
There's lots of pictures of my dogs on Instagram.
Sold
is my name. You can go to my Twitter, SmoothJazz91. And, we're on like festivals, but they're like in Omaha, but
Yeah, Mid by Midwest.
Midwest,
coming up.
Maha, another one that I forgot the name of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're on Maha this year. I don't know. We usually every year.
Hopefully we're on it.
Yeah. Then we can always, like last year we were on it, so we got to say we opened for Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's always a fun thing when you play a music festival, you can lie.
We played for Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
Humble brag.
Very quietly did comedy next to Run the
Yeah.
Jewels at the same time. Yeah.
If I forgot to mention, the show is at the Icon, the benefit show. I don't know if I remember the actual place. So it's at the Icon. You can buy tickets at Collective Efforts Union. I think that's all the details.
Cool. Robert?
Check out all the amazing podcasts, which I'm sure you're already aware of, at thesuempire.com.
Right. Brian,
No, I've got nothing.
you're directing a play soon, aren't you?
Yeah, that got pushed to March,
Oh.
so I'll get back to that around
Future episodes.
February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sitting around hating Guns N' Roses until then.
Yep, pretty much.
I have a nice life saying here. First off, if two less do not make a right, but three do. But however, you're still doing stuff backwards.
Yeah.
You're like a weird dad that lost his kids and isn't concerned about it at all.
You're doing it backwards.
The visual aids aren't going to help on the podcast.
If you're tuning in right now, Bonus Round is doing a comedy show in a few minutes that we are headed to right after this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so Ryan, Brenna, Skylar is hosting this one, and Jeremy Plum is performing as well. And I'm doing a 3-minute guest spot, so I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a fun show. So $12 at the door, free gameplay all night. Going to be a fun time. And then I'm hosting a benefit at Biggs in 2 weeks on the 15th for a guy named Steve Swayze. He had a car accident. He has not regained consciousness yet. They're doing a benefit show, and I'm going to be hosting and introducing all the musical acts. There's about 9 or 10 of them. And I have them here because I'm bad at memorizing certain things. Tony Brown, Brian Hoffman, Matt Hansen, Gorilla Pimp, great name. No Sir, Not Me, Bobby Cook, Chris Breezy Dread, Chris Vogel, and Andy Miles are performing songs created by Steve. Band called A Bird in a Hand, Acoustic Exile, Oppress the Tyrant, and Black Van Burnouts. And I'll be doing a couple jokes in between that. So, June 15th.
I've decided that I want someone to describe to me the suit that Gorilla Pimp wears.
What if just a guy in a Lagwagon t-shirt?
I'm Gorilla Pimp, I'm sorry.
Is it Gorilla Pimp as in Levi Hansen, or is it like a band, Gorilla Pimp, with the same name?
Not sure, I have to look it up.
Okay.
What if it's just a guy in a gorilla shirt?
It's
Because
not.
Levi Hansen, Gorilla Pimp, is one of the hosts of one of the other podcasts here.
Oh, cool.
So it's not actually a gorilla in a pimp suit.
No.
Well, if it is, then the two Gorilla Pimps can fight. And I will pay good money to watch that.
I'm gonna bet on the actual gorilla.
Always bet on the actual gorilla. That's what Johnny Cash said. Bet on the gorilla. Look at those beans.
Yeah, that's our show. We're doing another special episode tomorrow night with Xavier Pastrano, Casey Custak, Simon Keller, and Daniel Bergeson. Robert, thanks again for always
It's going to
having
be
us.
a rich, full 48 hours.
Yeah, rich for 48 hours. Thank you, Brenna, Ryan, Austin, Luke, Jacob, and Ryan, Robert,
And Zach.
and myself.
Hashtag humble brag.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, you've been listening to
The Dresch Code!